Alrighty, there we go. Well, Anthony, Elijah, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's going to be hitting people's ears on a Tuesday, but we're doing this on a Saturday, so I
Yes,
appreciate you
sir.
time on a Saturday afternoon, especially at the beginning of summer. But you guys came out with the Clouds V1 release, and by the time this hits people's ears, I think it'll be nearing a release towards the end of June too, across everything. And
hmm
initially on Bandcamp, which I think Bandcamp is awesome because it goes like directly to the artist. But appreciate you guys joining me.
Oh, for sure, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Yeah.
Like we said, it was kind of spur of the moment, and obviously I've been on your platform before, and this is Elijah's first time here, and
Yeah.
we just appreciate you for reaching out, man.
Yes, sir. Oh, of course, you're welcome. Yeah, like we keep in touch with each other on social media, and you stay pretty active, Anthony, between your show. Like I've always had a respect for you from a distance, just between the podcast and your music. And when I saw that this collaborative release was coming out, I just thought it was really cool, and it had an opportunity this summer to get you on. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to catch up with them. And it was cool going back and listening. So for people who aren't aware, Elijah, Anthony, and myself, we're all from Ohio for the listeners. I'm from Northwest Ohio. These guys are Northeast Ohio, which, by the
Yep.
way, RIP to the Cavs and the Pistons. I'm a Pistons fan, but I got a lot of family in Cleveland. So the only time I root against Cleveland teams are when they play Detroit. And I was, man, they it was like the bully on the playground, Game 7 in Detroit. But I won't bring up the sadness. But onward and upward. Maybe Cleveland will get LeBron back, and maybe Detroit will get a scoring wing to help out Cade and the guys. I digress. But it was cool listening to y'all's episode on the Proven Knowledge podcast and kind of learning about how the two of you guys linked up. But for listeners of this show, can you guys kind of break down how the two of you guys got together, not just for the podcast, but just musically?
I'll let you go
Um,
first, Elijah, on all these. I think that's a good rule of thumb. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so from my perspective, as much as I can remember, um, Turbo was it Turbo? Right?
Yeah,
Yep,
your
yep. And
album last year. Yep.
but I think I kind of been hearing about you just from people that collab with you as far as like Marshawn.
Mhm.
Um so but basically we kind of leaked up off the Turbo project, did an interview, and bro played me some beats and I'm like, yo, I kind of want to, do something with you. And man, it took some time. It took some time a little bit for us to start kind of recording just because I was in the midst of Turbo or whatever, but we figured it out, man, and we here. So
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
long
I
ago was that?
So that was last July when we did the interview. So it's been about a year almost at this point, which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy to think about because it seems like that was just yesterday.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And that was one of the first, well, not the first one I've done like in person with someone, but that was one of the first ones I've done in person. Like I went to Elijah's place, we did the interview,
Yeah.
and from there, I think we talked about music and just like our favorite music and things like that. I honestly don't know if you knew that I made beats or not, because you were kind of surprised. You were like, "Oh, I didn't even know that you did all this stuff." Like he went to my Apple Music and was listening to
Yeah.
some of the instrumental stuff, and he's like, "We got to do something eventually."
Yep.
And it was weird because like that was right when I started another project that I got coming out later this year. So that kind of was the beginning of that. But we were, yeah, like you said, he put out Turbo. We were kind of working on promoting different
Yep.
things.
Yeah.
Um, and it took about, I'd say, 7 or 8 months. And then it was probably the beginning of this year where the ball kind of got rolling again on those discussions as far as like putting it together. And I don't
Mhm.
know if I ended up sending more beats for like ones that made this project in particular, but I think I sent like another fresh thing of beats. And then
Yep.
that's really where things kind of caught steam. And then I'd say it was around early March, late February, it was pretty much done. And then it was just about coming together and formulating an idea for the rollout and release dates and all that sort of thing. And we got a very finite schedule of like release strategy for this thing, which I think is pretty cool. That's pretty much how it
Yeah.
went. But for me, as far as knowing about Elijah, I knew about him in 2024 through
Okay.
another guy locally named John P. the MC, and he was actually on one of his albums. I think you were on the song Chili
Chili
Bowl
Bowl.
for
Yeah,
him.
Chili Bowl. Yep.
Yeah, so I heard that song and I was like, who are these guys? These guys are incredible. Because I was starting to dig into a lot more local artists here in Northeast Ohio. Because the way I've done it, Mike knows this more than anybody. I worked outward. I worked with people overseas. I worked with people over in other parts of the country. I didn't really work with anybody here except my friend JayTrey, who Mike knows as well. But now I'm starting to kind of come back home and work with more talent locally. So
Hmm.
2024 was when I started to kind of do that and get the ball rolling on that. And that's how I found Elijah's stuff and just started digging in. And then once Turbo came out, I was very impressed with that. And
Yeah,
once we discussed it, and we found out that we are very similar in our taste and our approach to music.
yeah,
And I think that's
definitely.
where it ended up making sense to pursue this collaboration.
And
So,
I respected how serious he was too. Once I started, looking up everything that he was doing, because it actually started. He sent me some beats, and then I went to like, on my own, and just went to like his Apple Music and his YouTube, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy actually is like. I started to. I'm like, how is he doing 24 things in 2 minutes? Like, I'm not understanding it. So I was like, okay, yeah, I thrive off of things like that when people's work ethic is just like I respect people like that. So I definitely I just wanted to work with him. I thought it was just a great uh what do they call it? Chemistry.
yeah,
Yeah, we
definitely
yeah,
creative
we clicked.
chemistry and even personal chemistry because we've hung out a few times now. And
Yeah.
it feels
Yep.
like this, like I've known this guy for years and we've only known each other for a little over a year, which is
Yeah.
crazy. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's cool when you feel like you meet new old friends where you have like that connection where you're like, oh, this is somebody if I'd have met him when I was like 16, we would have been cool. And it was cool listening to the podcast with you, Elijah, on Proven Knowledge podcast with Anthony, because you've been doing this like you started messing with beats and stuff when you were like what, 9 years old? You said
Yeah.
was it your cousin and you got into like the Carter 3 and then was it Fruity Loops was the original like the beat one back in the day? Because you guys mentioned like FL Pro and I'm like I have an older brother who way back in the day I think it was like Fruity Loops or something was one of the original beat things and so
Mhm.
yeah it was cool to hear that.
Yeah, man. So basically my cousin Cornelius, he came from down south. He came up here to Ohio. Um, and he was rapping. I'm just like, I want to do that. And he said something like, it ain't nothing but some poetry. And like my head just clicked like, oh, like Cat in the Hat. So I started off small like that. And yeah, around that time he definitely showed me it was the Drought 3. The Carter 3, my favorite album, but he showed me the Drought 3 at that time. And I just was attached to I just fell in love with hip hop. I've been in love with music, been in love with hip hop before that, but it was just something about that just made me, oh, I want to rap. I want to rap. I want to rap. And then I accidentally ran into FL Studios. I think it was 7 at that time. Like the next year, like I was like 9 years old. And yeah, it's just from there, we just went on, never stopped.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got about ten years on me from where I started. I didn't start until I was 19, with FL Studio, which is I have
Mhm,
10 years and a couple months, which is wild. But another thing that kind of alludes to what we talked about earlier is Elijah and I are the same age. Like he's a couple months older than me. So I thought it was
mhm.
interesting. We kind of grew up in the same era of the internet and
Yeah,
blog
yep,
era and those same type of artists. So I think that's another reason why it made sense of like we have
yep.
similarities and common ground to be able to come up with our own ideas because we're from the same era. I think sometimes I could do that with people that are older than me, and sometimes
Mhm.
I could do that with people that are younger. But I think when it's like, oh, we've had kind of those similar experiences musically, it makes sense to put the minds together and just roll with something.
Yeah.
So
And Anthony is very unique. What I mean by that is I've been doing like production so long as far as I only know how to which him Anthony as well, but you only know how to do your own production. And I've
yeah.
been searching. I don't know how to make Anthony sound. I just know how to make my sound of music, and I've been searching for his sound my whole life. So it's like now I get to actually I seen another blog, they called it boom bap rap. So I
Mm.
get to do that now. I actually get to rap on boom bap, beats, and it's amazing. It's amazing, man. Love it.
Yeah, it's cool when you meet people where they can like unlock something that you hear in your head, but like you said, where you're at and with the kind of sounds that you make, you know how to do it
Mm,
your way. But you meet somebody who can bring something else to the table. And I thought I wanted to ask you guys too about the Clouds name for this. And the artwork too was cool. It's like two little kids like sitting in the clouds. And I actually thought it was cool that it was like faceless on the front. It's kind of like a cartoon, but kind of cool vibe. And with Anthony's beats and like his instrumental stuff that's come out, there's times where I've listened to it during my day job at work because it's a very like calming, cool, like
mm,
there's a lot of piano in it with a lot of the stuff that he does. And so I felt like the lyrics and the way that this flowed together, this EP with those beats was really cool. But I felt like Clouds was an appropriate name because I feel like this is one of those EPs that it's really like an in your head kind of sound, if that makes sense. Like it's a real, like sort of introspective. You can
yeah.
listen to it in the car, you can listen to it while you're working, and the lyrics still hit you. But I feel like those kind of and maybe I'm not describing the sound correctly, so you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you guys know more about beats than I'll ever know, but it does kind of have that, it has that easygoing kind of like lo-fi vibe to it, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Um, you want to go first, Anthony?
Yeah, I think as far as the name goes, I know that was mostly your direction. I guess for me, when it comes to doing these collaborations, like these full
Mm,
collab projects with artists, what I want to do as the producer is give the artist still the majority of the say in the direction as far as that goes and let them do their thing. And then once they establish that, I can come in and provide my ideas sonically, but
yeah.
also with the rollout and things like that. So that's
Yep.
exactly how we approach this one. As far as the sound, I
Hmm.
guess I'll just start with the sound and then Elijah can go from there. For like the beats I was picking, I think it goes back to what he said earlier about how he was searching for that type of sound, and he just didn't know how to get there. And so I guess just because I already had that, and then from the combination of conversations we had to begin with, being able to talk in person was a big thing because a lot of the
Yeah.
times I'm just guessing because I've never met this person in real life. We're
Hmm.
talking over DMs or email. So a lot of the times I have to guess on the sound. I feel like for this one, because we had those conversations and that dialogue, it was easy to be able to say, oh, this is the sound we're going for. And it also kind of fit with what I was doing. And when I thought about clouds, I was like, well, I wanted to have the melodic element because I'm a melodic producer. Obviously, and most of the stuff I do has some sort of melody driven purpose to it. Even if it has hard drums, there's the melody is there. So I wanted it to be that, but I also just wanted it to leave you feeling like a sense of inspiration because I feel like I
Yeah.
associate clouds with like you have your head in the clouds, like you're always daydreaming about something greater. That's kind of
Hmm.
how I interpreted it from the production side.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested how Elijah approached it from conceptually, but also the lyrical side too, if it was similar or not, because I honestly don't know. So,
So, so from my perspective, I have projects. My project names are always like I got some project called Limitless, project called Extreme, one called Rock is Up. So I'm always kind of thinking like up, I guess.
I
So
never thought of that, but that
yeah,
makes sense.
and hearing Anthony's beats at the time, if you look at the artwork cover, that's kind of how my head was thinking with these songs. Like, okay, we just sitting on the cloud and we rocking out. It don't you don't even need no face for this artwork. It's just great music. It doesn't matter who make it. You know what I'm saying? It's just good music. It's just a good vibe. So yeah, I was thinking up. That's all I was thinking up. and I'm the sound. Once he brought me the sounds and I was able to hear because he actually Anthony, I probably asked him for about good, that probably was like 12 to 15 beats, bro. Something like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
again, we already knew it was going to be an EP. I think it was just about narrowing it down to like which few tracks was it going to
At the
be from
yeah,
there.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I always try to keep that up mindset going up, taking things to the highest, you know. So that was just my mindset of it. And I feel like it fits. I feel like it fits, man. The sound is just it's what I wanted. It's what I never got before in life, and now I finally got it. So yeah, dope.
How did you guys come up with the track listing? Because I feel like Easy for Me was like a good kind of catchy one, like that chorus, like to kick
Mhm.
things off. Like you hear it and you're like, oh, I'm in, you know. And then I think Golden G Shock was the first one that you guys released off of it.
Yeah.
Um, and then Benefit I really liked, and then it ends with Sky High View, which kind of ties into that cloud's name. But how many times did you guys go through these tracks before you kind of settled on a track listing of like how you wanted it to flow? Because I feel like it is a real front to back listen. Like they all kind of interconnect like the songs, but at the same time, I think it flows really well.
Yeah. Um, so I think just for having the collection of beats that Anthony gave me, um, I was able to kind of I work a lot in my head. I'm always in my head. So I'm not writing any material or anything. I don't know how to play a sound off ear or anything. This is all just in my head. So I was just able to remember to keep this concept going in my head, but still feel kind of free, you know. So I approached it that way. Once we had all the songs together, I kind of even when it's an EP, I don't care if it's an EP, mixtape, album, I try to make sure everything flows correctly, you know, and not how I want it to, actually how I feel like it should sound. You know what I'm saying? So that's always my approach with every project. Um, just just making sure I, you know, fulfill what I got in my head. That's all I approach it.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think we revised this many times, maybe once, if that. I mean, it was pretty much
Yeah.
set in stone from the jump. And again, it goes back to what I said earlier about how I like to give the artist the say on that. Unless I
Mhm.
have something really concerning in my own mind of like, we should definitely switch this up. Most of the time,
Yeah.
I feel great about what the artist is presenting me anyway. And that's why I
Mm.
love working with the right people. For me, I wouldn't just do this type of project with just anybody. It has to make sense based
Yeah.
on our personalities and the way we approach things. And
Mhm.
what's interesting is that like it's not too hard to sequence an EP, honestly, compared to an album. I feel like an
So
album,
yeah.
there's a lot of layers where it's like if you switch this one track, it could really affect how the listener is gonna experience
Yeah.
the
Yep.
project. I think for an EP, it's like it's a little easier to do it because you're only dealing with a few tracks. So it's
Mhm.
not many revisions that need done. And I think these four in particular, they just work in tandem very well with one another, sonically,
Yeah.
lyrically, and then obviously ending it with Sky High View. I told Elijah this. It makes you want more because you think it's going to lead into something, but we're not giving that to you just yet.
Just
So it's
yet. Yep.
like the perfect way to end it. So I thought the sequencing from the jump was just perfect, and it just made sense. It's only 10 minutes, you know, so
Mhm.
it's like you get the most out of it in 10 minutes. I think we utilized the time, and yeah, leaves people wanting more. So
Mike, I'm gonna say this too, Mike. I was nervous sending him these songs back, man. I'm always like curious of how somebody feels. So once I got his approval, I was like, okay, okay, cool, cool. So yeah.
Well, and being nervous is a good thing, man. Like I've struggled with anxiety my whole life, and like I got the mental wellness club hat on right now. Shout out Friends of Felix, and but I think like as men and as people, it's like somebody wise told me, sometimes you got to think about your anxiety or nerves as like a superpower because that means you care. Like if you didn't care, you wouldn't be nervous, whether it's for like a date or for a job interview or for a
Yeah.
musical project, like something you care about. So and I don't make music, but just as somebody who loves music, like yeah, there's a layer of vulnerability there when you're sending something to somebody and you're like, all right, this is the
Mhm.
first time we've really worked together. How is this going to go? But I really enjoyed it. And was it on? I haven't listened to it a few times through now. I'm trying to remember which song it was. It might have been, I want to say it was Benefit. And I'm going to kind of paraphrase the line, but you basically said like if it's not God or money or like basically like protecting your energy. It's like if it's not God or money, like I'm not worried about it. I think it was Benefit. So I hope I'm
It
not
ain't
wrong
got.
on
Yeah,
this.
you right.
Okay.
if it ain't God, family, money, then it don't get attached. Something I said like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And I thought it was kind of cool listening to the podcast too with you guys
Hmm.
before did this as well to get ready for this because you also kind of dropped a bar in that podcast, which is kind of what I love about podcasts now. If you go back and listen to different podcasts, you're like, oh, there's some nuggets of wisdom in here. But you said
Hmm.
something on there too about like you really put your all into this and you really want to be the best at your craft. And you were like, I think I'm paraphrasing this line too, but you're basically like, I think we're all capable of achieving our dreams and doing what we want to do. It just depends on what you do with your time. And I think that's really key, man, because like so much of it, I feel like whatever it is that you love, so much
Hmm.
of it is the discipline and really like the attention to detail. So it was kind of cool listening to that before I even listened to the clouds. And I was like, those kind of were like simpatico, like, mind kind of chemistry things going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I try to right now I'm currently reading like books. There's one called Get Out of Your Head. So I think like just being in your head, it could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing, you know. You just gotta kind of go for it. Going back to the anxiety thing, when I feel like I have anxiety, I just go for it, you know. I sent him them songs. Let's see what he think, you know. And he liked them, you know, he loved them. So it's just not being in your head too much. And being consistent, which Anthony is kind of teaching me. I've always been consistent, but this guy right here, I don't know what he's on. So
I appreciate that, man.
yeah, yeah, definitely. But no, getting out of your head, staying consistent and being I say this too. I try to be a little bit delusional, but I'm also logical as far as like, okay, I want this in life, but I'm right here right now. So how do I get there to get that? You know, and everybody got a um different GPS location on their map to get to that spot or whatever, however you want to say it. Like we all have different ways to get there, but I do believe for sure that we are all capable of getting things done for sure.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And like, I think there's a voice. I'll give her a free shout out. And when I first moved to Nashville, she was somebody that I listened to a lot. And I've revisited her stuff recently. He goes by Abraham Hicks. And her whole thing is basically like, if there's something that you want in life, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a dream that
Yeah.
you have to put your mindset in that abundance mindset of like, I already have everything that I need and
Hmm.
visualize your life being like nothing's missing. Cause she's like, you can't get there from there. Like you can't get to where you want to go by focusing on the absence of it. So if you wake up every day and you're like, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have this, or I'm not here yet, you gotta put your mind in that frame of mind of like, okay, what does my ideal life look like? What am
Yeah.
I grateful for? And when you step into that space, your energy is already in that abundance mindset. So when you
Hmm.
come from a place of abundance instead of a place from lack, then you also start like attracts like, you know what I mean? And it's
Yes.
hard to get there. It really is. Like I have to do that every day, you know what I mean? But even doing this podcast, like this conversation wouldn't have happened if I just hung this up. You know, that's how I met Anthony. Anthony reached out to me a few years ago and
Yeah.
um sent me an email and was like, hey man, like I'm from Ohio, I'm a producer and I came across your show and because we it was King Shamps. We both had King
Yeah.
Shamps on the pod. And so that's then I had JayTrey on and like got a chance to talk to him and it's just kind of been like you meet like other collaborators and I think
Yeah.
one of the keys to like achieving your dreams is just not stopping. And I think what's cool about like where the creative environment is today, whether you're in podcasting or you make music like you guys do, is there's no barrier to entry. There's a lot out
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to kind of get to like-minded creators or get your voice heard,
Hmm.
but it's not like back in the day where it's like if you wanted something to sound good in like the 90s or even the early 2000s, you had to like pay for studio time or you had to know
Yep.
somebody. And now it's like with modern technology, and the right attitude, like you can kind of make stuff happen. So anyway, that's kind of a long rant, but I thought it was cool how that kind of like synced up because I'm like, oh, I feel like Elijah's on some like mental health and like chasing dreams kind of wavelength, which I know Anthony is on that too with like proven knowledge and even this podcast like Mark Forth, like the meaning behind that name. So I thought that that was really cool.
Dope, man.
A lot of
That's dope.
manifesting involved in that. Just
Yes.
so
No,
Yeah,
that's
and it's
definitely.
just it's belief too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, no, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, it's I think it's just like belief, man. It's just like so many people quit because like we get in this comparison game on social media and stuff and we forget like social media is a show. You know what I mean? Like it's you're seeing the highlights. You're not seeing the grind and a lot of times too even with artists like you think about somebody like Kid Cudi and I just know this because I went to the University of Toledo and it was before I
Mhm.
went there but he went there for like I don't even know if he was there for like a semester. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like he just continued to like chase his dreams and make his music. And then you look at the people that he inspired, like part of Travis Scott's stage name is
Yeah.
because of how much he looks up to Kid Cudi and like, Eminem, I heard you mention Elijah too, is like one of your goats. He was working in like a factory job in Detroit, just grinding before, people we always see people when they break, we don't see them on the journey.
Hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? And but the journey is really where the meat and potatoes is at. And I think
Yeah.
even if you talk to artists who get to a certain level, a lot of them will probably say some of their happiest times making music was before all the other stuff came with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really enjoying the process. That's what I've discovered even
Hmm.
doing this podcast. It's like consistency, but really enjoying the process because the process is where you grow.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that's definitely true. And having good people around, that helps the mindset too, man. Gotta have the right people around. It's important to um right now I'm working on building myself a team. I want a team for myself. That's what I want. Take it to the next level. But you have to have the right people around. You gotta have some type of even when you on your off days, if you feeling wrong, you need some like a almost like a coach. Hey man, get on your shit, bro. You've been slacking these few days. What are you doing? You need those people around. That's very important.
accountability. They hold you
Yes.
accountable.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, man.
And so for this being, and thanks again, Elijah and Anthony, for doing this. So the V1, I know that's not by mistake. So is this volume one of a continuation? Like what can we? I don't want to spoil anything, but I mean, I'm assuming the V1 is this isn't just going to be the first time that and the only time that there's a collaboration.
Yeah. So I had this is what I talked to Anthony about. I said, man, when I do EPs, when I do collab EPs, I like to do a series almost. So I told him already 3 is my lucky number, but our chemistry, we mess around, make a V10. Be like, so it just depends. So we don't actually know how many volumes or versions we want to do yet, but for sure 3, because 3 is my
Yeah.
lucky number. I want to do 3 with bro, and I want to get some more collabs on. So I can't, man. I wish I could tell everything because Anthony, let's do Anthony.
We got some
Genius.
local people here in Ohio we have in mind for sure
Yeah,
for collaborators, and we did say three, and we also talked about maybe if it is just three, we combine them all and do a
make
full
that.
album
Yep.
with that, and then maybe do like a physical release of some sort to go with it, and do a bunch of
Yeah.
other things surrounding it. That obviously wouldn't
Yep.
be anytime soon, but that's just what we're coming up with
Yeah.
at this time, like ideas wise. But I think it'll be interesting because you have the way you roll out volume one, we might roll
Yeah.
out volume two differently. If we
Yep.
brainstorm other ideas, it might be a little bit different for how we do that. So well, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're definitely planning on doing more, which is good because I think four is a good number of tracks and it's digestible, but like
Hmm.
we want to get people more than that eventually, which is the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And maybe with that full length project, we give y'all some extra ones.
yeah.
some extra ones. We'll see how it go. We want to keep the moment going. Like I really love this moment right now. It's only been what we've been. It's like this whole month we've probably been announcing it. So
Yeah,
just
it's
in this
been
little bit of time,
about
it's
a
been
month and a
beautiful.
half, yep, which is
Yeah,
crazy. So,
it's
and
been
even like
beautiful.
even yesterday, like the amount of people that posted about the project and things like that. I mean, from
Yeah,
what we've been doing is just reaching out to people, just cold emails. Like a lot of these people, we don't know them. They don't owe us
yeah,
anything. You know what I mean? They don't have to even
yeah,
read our emails or DMs. But
yeah.
the fact that they're
Yep.
doing that and listening to it and actually enjoying it is a good
That
sign.
means so much. That
Yeah.
means so much because we just like I said, I'm doing this not in my head thing. So it kind of feels good just to feel like free within the music and just to give it to the world and then the world just to, like love it. So
You know,
yeah. It's like putting positive energy into something and you get positive energy back.
mhm.
That's exactly what it is. So yeah, we appreciate it. Me and Anthony definitely even getting an interview from you, bro. Like y'all don't have to go out your way and do this. Like this is amazing. So salute to everybody.
Mhm.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Positive vibes all the way around. So the appropriate way to say this then would be Clouds Volume One. That would be really the appropriate. It's abbreviated as V1, but really this is Volume One. So again, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm excited to
Yeah,
see what's on the horizon, but just to stay on the Ohio aspect of things. And thanks again, Anthony and Elijah, for your time.
for sure.
When I really think about musically over the years, and Anthony knows this, I love hip hop, but like my roots are in like metal and heavy music, and
Yeah.
Ohio kind of has all of it from like pop punk to metalcore, rap. I mean, the Cleveland area alone, when you look at the bands and artists that have come out of there, whether it's Cuddy, MGK, Bone Thugs, way back in the day, just for the hip hop side of things, like how
Mhm.
inspiring is it for you guys? Both being from Ohio and even seeing the Ohio music scene right now, like how much does that inspire you as creatives, not only knowing the history of the music in Ohio, but just, like you're alluding to, like other collaborators in the future and other artists that are doing their thing in Ohio right now, and JayTrey as well, obviously with proven knowledge.
Mhm.
Mhm. Uh, I want to say this. I got faith in everybody. And I think in the next 10 years or 20 years, ain't nobody gonna be able to fuck with us. I don't think they can mess with us now just because we so this is the Ohio is like the place where you gotta kind of cross paths, I guess, or whatever. So it's like we get everything. We literally get everything. We're like a gumbo or something like that.
Yeah.
So we
It's
just
like a
so talented.
melting pot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
We just full of talent, full of talent. And like I said, in the next maybe even five, they're not gonna be that it's gonna be something crazy.
Yeah.
And our history is beautiful already, as far as the musicians we have from the Bone Thugs, the Marilyn Mansons, the Macy Grays, the OJs. There's so many people we can keep going back, actually, you
Mhm.
know. That's a beautiful. But I do think in the next half decade, the next 10 years, and everybody got to start coming together more. That's one thing we need to start doing. I wish we can do heavy metal and rap. We need that. We actually need that. I just was talking about rock. Like I need to hear more rock on the radios. I need to hear more rock in the movies when they come on. Like how we used to hear back in the day. Like I miss that. Like so we need to kind of just all come together, clash, and just make this thing happen. Because Ohio is we full of talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to definitely echo that as well because like I said, it really wasn't until the last couple of years that I've been diving into like the local scene and then there's a lot of artists in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton even that I'm discovering and I'm
Mhm.
like these people are insanely incredible.
Yeah.
Uh and a big goal for myself, which Elijah knows this, I've talked about it multiple times now, is I want to do an album, compilation album that has all Ohio artists on it eventually. I
Hmm.
haven't started that yet, but I'm starting to get the wheels turning on that, on the idea of that, and start getting people involved in that. Because I would think that would be a cool way to do exactly what he's talking about, which is kind of bring people to knowing about what the Ohio scene has to offer. because I
Mhm.
think people have done this before. Like, shout out to Hen House, who's out of Dayton. They did a lot of projects before where they've had Dayton artists on it. I
Metal
kind of want to
Wire, yeah.
do that to where we have not just Dayton artists, but Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Canton, all these different areas of artists. So I'm starting to connect with those people and kind of start planting the seeds for that. So we'll see if that happens. But I agree with him. I think it's just, a lot of artists in Ohio, they're known not for being from Ohio, even if they are. They got big when they left Ohio. I think it
Yep.
would be really cool to see artists start to get big, while they still have their roots planted here in Ohio and just start developing that scene. And, I can't say that I'm at this time a huge part of that. There's other people that
Yeah.
are doing a lot more than I'm doing, but I would love to, kind of shed light and do my own thing and
Yeah.
help in any way I can with that process. So yeah, a lot of amazing artists, independent artists, and bigger artists from Ohio, and it's going to be exciting to see where it leads from here. So yeah,
I think as long as we stay at it, man, we'll become something strong,
yeah,
crazy. Another thing we need too is like we need our elite artists of Ohio to like kind of I know this is what I'll do for me personally. When I get up there, um, work with the up and coming from here.
yeah,
We need that, you know.
yeah.
Um, in the same
There's
way we go back to
actually,
Eminem,
yeah.
Eminem brought D12 with him. So, you know, still we kind of need that.
There's actually an artist from Cleveland. His name is Eli the Dawn, and he
Hmm.
just signed with Ninth Wonder's label Jamla. And a lot of his interviews recently have been talking about how he wants to keep doing things in Ohio. Like he'd
Hmm.
rather just live in Ohio still and work with people out here and kind of shed light on that stuff, which I thought was really cool. So like that's a good example of like someone doing it who's already like getting that notoriety. Uh,
Yeah,
awesome. So.
yeah,
Well, that's sick, and I think it's cool eventually if that compilation album comes, Anthony, because you and JayTrey did the Proven Knowledge compilation. Was that 24? Was that 2 years ago
That
now?
was 2023, actually, which is kind of wild to think about. That was, I think, the fall of 2023.
hmm,
Uh, yeah, but yeah, that was kind of the beginning of that idea, and I'm actually coming out with a compilation this fall that has Elijah on it. He's one of the artists on it, and that's going to
yeah.
be
I
the
didn't want to
first
say that
one.
earlier.
Yeah, I'm excited for that because I got to get that out of the way first before I even get the ball rolling on the other one. But that's the idea for the next one is just like keep it about Ohio and here and make my version of that sound. Like, what does my version of that sound look like, sound like, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Well, before we wrap it up, fellas, and thanks again so much, Anthony and Elijah, for taking the time to do this. I really dig Clouds Volume One. I think it's an awesome EP. I love how the artwork ties in with the vibe of it, and Anthony, you
yeah,
kind of know how I like to close with mental health, and this will be coming out in June, but as we're recording this, it's the tail end of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And both Proven Knowledge and March 4th touch a lot on sort of like that perseverance throughout the journey, what you can pass on to the listeners, what you can pass on to other people chasing their dreams. Anything that you guys want to pass on to the listeners on this one in terms of things that help you have persevere through the dark times, or even just on this process of chasing dreams, and obviously both of you guys with your catalogs already, you already have worked with really cool people, put out really good work yourselves. But any positive advice you want to leave people with as we close this one out?
I'll
me
let you go.
personally. Okay, okay. Me personally, just take care of yourself. You know, it all starts here. Um, you know, try to eat great, drink yourself some water because it does. You know, what you eat does matter for the mind as well. Treat people how you want to be treated because you are a reflection. You know, if you do feel like you going through something, sit down in silence, uh, and learn how to move silently when there's chaos going on around. Because sometimes we can't control that part. You know, and when we can control it, if you can control it, walk away. so you can think. Give yourself some time to breathe. I work in the field of people with disabilities, so we always try to make sure we approach things with a good mindset because you don't want to. I don't even know how to say it, man. I just experienced so much and so much different things. Uh, so many different ways of mental illness. We don't realize what could be mental illness, so we could just be like living our own personal lives, and somebody could be going through something and we not realizing it. So yes, please treat others how you want to be treated, because it starts it starts from us. It starts from here in us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely think I would echo all of that, but also just as far as like treating people the way you want to be treated, do the small
yeah,
things for people, hold the door open for someone, compliment people, ask people how their day is going, like the little things, because a lot of people they might not have a lot of things to look forward to either, like in their lives, and they got a lot of things going on. So like those little things go a long
yeah.
way for those other people. And I feel good about doing those things for others. It's a good feeling to be able to do the little things. And then for
Mm-hmm.
yourself, you just gotta do what you love, do a little bit of what you love every single day. Find the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's busy. We got work, we got family, we got other obligations, but you
Yeah.
got to fill up your own cup too. And doing what you love is a great way to make that happen, whether it's your passion or spending time with the people you care about or whatever that
Mm-hmm.
is. Find time for you and what you are passionate about, and just keep grinding, keep doing your thing, and you'll see the wins start to come in due
Yes,
time.
you will.
Takes a
He's
lot of
saying
time,
something.
takes a lot of time to work, but you will see the small wins start to add up, and that's the most we can do. And then hopefully from there, you inspire someone else to do the same for themselves and others. That's the real goal at the
Yep.
end of the day. So yeah,
Yep. And also, if you're into reading, Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, the Four Agreements, Get Out of Your Head, um, seven. What is that? What is that other book? 4,000. I think it's called 4,000 Weeks. Those are good books for your mental state.
I haven't read any of these, so even I have to tap in with these books.
Yeah.
So
Don't
yeah,
ask me about the don't ask me about the the authors. I don't know. I just buy audiobooks and turn them on.
that's all you need. That's all you need, man.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Well, Anthony, Elijah, thank you guys so much for taking the time to do the podcast. Anthony, obviously we go way back, and Elijah, I got a lot of respect for you too, dude. And it was cool to hear you
Likewise.
on Anthony's show, and it was really cool to listen to Cloud. So I'll put up the links in the podcast description, but let everybody know where they can find you out there.
You want to go first, Ant?
Yeah, so primarily on Instagram at Anthony Church Music. I'm not even going to go over the other handles. They're all kind of similar. You'll be able to find what. But this project, Bandcamp, it's on both my Bandcamp and Elijah's Bandcamp as well.
Yep.
It'll be
Yep.
on all the platforms June 27th. So if you don't want to support now and listen now, it's fine. You'll be able to hear it on all platforms June 27th, which is my birthday. So it's my birthday present to you guys. All right. I'm just going to go there. But thanks to everybody who has been listening, checking it out so far, everybody who's going to do it in the future. Because I told Elijah this, a lot of people get the high of the immediate gratification of it. We
Yeah.
dropped it, and everybody loves it immediately. I would
Yeah.
rather someone in 5 years hit me up about this project and be like, "Man, this is awesome," because that means
Hmm.
it's going to last for a while.
Yeah.
So even if someone hears it 5 years from now and still loves it, that's the goal for us, I think. So,
Hmm. Yep. Timeless music. Timeless
mhm.
music for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Mine's you honestly, ElijahRushing.com. Uh, but my only difference is Elijah Rushing Lames on IG. But yeah, everything else, just look me up, Elijah Rushing, ElijahRushin, YouTube, anywhere. Google, it'll pop up. I'll pop up anywhere.
Awesome. Well, Anthony, Elijah, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I'll let y'all get back to your day. But everybody, go check out Clouds Volume One. Thank you guys so much.
Make time for everything, man. Appreciate it, man. Shout out to you. Nice to meet you as well, man.
You too, dude. Got a lot of respect for what you're doing. And Anthony, I appreciate you too, man. I really, really, really have always appreciated your kindness and your work ethic, and it's inspired me to keep doing my thing too, man.
100%. Thanks
Sir.
again, Mike. Thanks for reaching out and for the opportunity. And yeah, volume two, we should totally run it back. That would be awesome.
For
So,
sure. We about to get to working on that soon.